Shalom to you. We will be going over circles to review for the text. Okay. Now, if we look at this circle, it reminds us of what? What type of angle is this? Are these? Inscribed. Very good. All of them. And all of them are inscribed about the same chord. All of them are inscribed about the same chord. See all of them? So for that reason, all of them are going to be congruent, no matter how many there are. Make sense? And each one of them is going to be 1/2 of the chord, right? So if each of the angle is A, this arc is going to be 2A, right? The angle is 1/2 of the arc. 1/2 of the arc when the angle is on the circle. Okay? Okay, so we're going to start from the beginning, okay, when we did circle, how to draw circle, and how to find radius and those stuff. So the first thing we do is write it in the circle equation form. What's the equation for circle? X minus A squared plus Y minus B squared equals radius squared. And remember, this is the length of the radius, the distance from distance formula, which came from Pythagorean theorem. Okay, so we want to write this equation to look in this form, where A and B, AB is the center. So, okay, and then X, Y point on the XY point on the circle. Point on circle. Okay. So that's what each of those represent. So we're going to do completing the square. So we move all x's and y's on one side and constant on the other side. Okay. So we're gonna have, that's a negative x squared. Oh, let's move it to the right. So let's just do this to make it easier. We don't have to redo. So let's add x squared to both sides. And then we're going to add 8y to this side too. And then we're going to add y squared also. Make sense? So we are moving everything on the left side. We are going to subtract 8 because 8 is here, it's constant. We want it to go to the other side. We subtract 8. So in total, we are going to have then positive x squared minus 2x plus blank plus y squared plus 8y plus blank equals, and we are going to have negative 8 here plus blank plus blank. So those blank are going to be whatever we fill in this blank with. Make sense? All we need now is we moved all x's and y's on the left side and move all the constant on the right side of the equation. So whenever an expression crosses the equal sign, it changes the sign, right? Negative x squared was negative on the right side. It becomes positive on the left side. Make sense? That's all we've done. And now we are going to find the 1/2 of the linear expression, which is the one without square. 1/2 of negative 2 is negative 1. So negative 1 squared is, it's 1. And then we're going to add that 1 here too. So, and just to, we're going to factor that, that's going to be x. Since it's negative 1, it's good to just write it like that. That way you won't forget it, because that 1/2 of that is what you use to write your square. All right? And then plus, we do the same thing for y. So y something. Now, we're going to be 1/2 of 8. 1/2 of 8 is 4 is positive 4. So we write it 4 squared. And then 4 squared is 16. So we're going to put 16 here and then put that 16 here also. Make sense? So we need the other. So now, please add negative 8 plus 1 is negative 7. Negative 7 plus 16. 9. So it's going to be equal to 9. All right? And now we see what we have. We have this equation now look like the circle equation. Okay, so we're going to now identify our center. So what would be the center? The center is going to be, just kind of equals them. What would be the center? Look at the pattern here. The center will be A and B. But remember, the minus is, this is the difference between X and A, the difference between Y and A. So this one, look, the difference between X and 1, but this one is plus. What do we do to make it look like, so we can tell what the center is actually? So we're going to do Y minus negative 4. So it helps us see that this is actually, and this is 9 is equal to R squared. So what is R? We take the square root of 9, so which will be 3. Okay? If we are to write the equation, we leave the equation like that with 9. But if we are asked to find the radius, so we, and the center, well, then we have to find that radius by taking the square root. So the center here, okay, the center here is going to be 1 for X and negative 4 for Y. Again, it's not 4 and negative 1. It's 1 and negative 4, because you have to find the difference between the two numbers. You're not adding them. Make sense? Okay. So, and then we have already found the radius. And now to graph it, we are going to use the, we are going to plot the center. Center is 1, 0. Make sure you always start from 0, 0, and then you ask, this is the X and this is the Y. Okay, so you go to X is positive, so you have to go to the right, 1. A lot of people made that mistake in their graphing. They will go left when it's supposed to be right and stuff. So it's 1 right, and then negative 4 is down 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then put the plot there. It's 1, negative 4. And from here, since the radius is 3, I'm going to go right, left, up, down, 3. So 1, 2, 3, and get another point there. And then from the center, I go 1, 2, 3. I get another point there. 1, 2, 3. Okay, all 4 ways. And then 1, 2, 3. 4 ways. And then connect those 4. Try as much as possible to make it look like a circle. And that's that. All right? All right, next we look at how to write the equation of a circle. Again, we just have that figure. What we need to look at, X minus A squared plus Y minus B squared equals R squared. Okay, so what we need is the center and the R. So here we have, but we don't have the radius. So we need to find the radius first. We need to find the radius equals what? So, but we have a center and we have a point on the center, on the circle, so which replaces A and B. So this is A, this is B, this will be X, this will be Y. So we just plug them in to find, into that equation to find X. Okay, we'll find X first. And so our X is negative 7 minus our A is negative 3 squared plus our Y is 14 minus our B is 7 squared equals R squared. So simplify. So this is negative 7 plus 3 squared. This is, that's 14. So 14 minus 7 is? 7. Okay, thank you. Was R squared. So negative 7 plus 3 is negative 4. So make sure you put parentheses to square. And 7 squared is 49. Thank you. So 4 squared is 16 plus 49 equals r squared. So 16 plus 49? 65. Okay, so the square root of 65 is going to be r then. Is that a perfect square, or is there any perfect square that goes into it? 5? 5 times what? But none of them is a perfect square. So to write the equation, we just need to, again, okay, hold on. We just need to fill in this spot here. Plus y minus b equals r squared. So now we keep x as a variable, and then we replace the a. A is negative 3 squared plus y minus b is 7 equals r squared, which we had here, is 65. We simplify x plus 3 squared, since we are writing the equation, plus y minus 7 squared equals 65, and that will be our simplified equation. All right, next. Okay, we could be asked to find the circumference, find the diameter, find whatever in about the circle. All it takes is know your destination. Our destination is circumference. So if it is circumference, what's the formula for circumference? Write it down, 2 pi radius. Or, again, circumference is distance, is perimeter, is one dimension. So it's not squared. If you remember that it's one dimension is not squared, only 2 dimension is squared. So you look at your formula will tell you what you need. Okay, so what do we need to find circumference here? We know 2. We don't need 2. We have it. We know pi is a number. The radius is all we need. And then so we go now to find the radius. So we look at what we are given is area. We start from the what is given, see how we can find radius from it. So what's the area? Area of a circle is radius what? Pi radius squared, right? That's the formula for area. So this is the area, so we can replace it with the equation here. Substitute that for area. 452.4 equals pi radius squared. And now we do the algebra. All we need, just use substitution to replace the number we have for area, and then solve for r we need in that equation. So how do we do the algebra to solve for r here? We need to get rid of everything except r, right? So pi is doing what to r squared? Is multiplying it. So we divide everything by pi to get rid of it. Okay? So 452.4 divided by pi, we get about 144, right? 0.000, let's just ignore those. Okay, it's about r squared. And now we can solve for r by taking the square root of 144, which is, okay, it's a perfect square, so that's good. 12 is r. So now we just come to our formula and then plug that in. Times pi times r. Oh, times r, we got 12. So we substitute that with 12. And they want us to round to nearest 10. That means we are going to change everything to decimal, right? We are going to plug that into our calculator. 2 times 12 times pi, we get about 75.39, but we are rounding to the nearest 10th, so it's going to be one decimal place. So it's going to be 75.4 feet. Its feet is linear, so we keep it like that. All right.